Welcome back to the Alchemical Life Podcast. This is your host, Abigail Crow speaking, and I am a coach. I train predominantly endurance athletes. I have trained people all over the athletic spectrum, from just Joe Schmo, Gen Pop, to guys who are currently playing in the NFL, all ages, but I tend to now work primarily with endurance athletes. And today I got to be my own endurance athlete. I'm here this week talking about my race recap for my Palace 5K. I do my whole training week breakdown in the previous episode. So if you want to hear about that, go ahead and listen to the last episode, episode 24, where I break down my training week. It'll help kind of lead into this actual podcast episode. First, I'm going to pay the dues, so please like, subscribe, comment if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to this, go ahead and leave a review. Follow the podcast. It helps me out. And if you are somebody who's interested in actual programs for running, then check out my programs. I have a Return to Sport, a Go Further, and a Be Unstoppable program that you can get for the person who is returning to sport or new to running. Somebody who is in the Go Further program in a building phase of their running career, and the Be Unstoppable program, a perfect program for somebody who is in the heat of their season and wanting to maintain strength and resilience as they get into the hard, tough parts of running. And it comes with a full program, a modification list, so you can progress and regress. Everything has video links for it, sets, reps, rest, and then also a full queuing log so that you get an extended cut version of all of the video links, where I go over common cues that I give my clients so that you, if you're struggling on a movement, you have all of the help needed via the video. So that being said, we're going to get into the episode today. Today I ran Palace. You're hearing about this on Wednesday, but today I ran the Palace 5K, and I had a goal. I felt like it was a pretty ambitious goal considering I've never run a 5K, and I've really started actually endurance running probably seriously only about 6 to 7 weeks ago. So my goal was a sub 21, which is a 6:45 average split per mile. And I'm not going to lie, I was actually really worried. I was very excited going into it. I've had the most fun with this training block, really. It's been such a blast. But I was definitely nervous with this race because I was worried that I would not hit it. And I had never done a 5K. I've done mile repeats. I've done 10Ks. I've done some really hard training sessions, but I just did not really know where I was going to land in this race. And so I thought maybe I am just getting out over my skis for this as being a first-time goal. That being said, I finished in 20:33, and so I absolutely smoked the goal that I had set for myself, so I'm really excited. I'm going to go through the race, and then I wanted to also talk about just some of the drawbacks and also the surprising benefits to endurance training, and what I've really not so much loved about it, and what I've really absolutely loved about endurance training. And then next goals. So we'll go right into it. I want to talk about the race. I woke up this morning absolutely just like a ball of nerves. I woke up pooping. I mean, I woke up, you guys, TMI, but I think I went to the bathroom like 8 times. I just could not. I felt like I had taken a laxative or something. I was just, everything in me was just like way empty out. I'm very glad that I actually ate a little bit more yesterday evening, carb-wise, because I needed the extra glycogen stores, because I don't know. So it was just wild. I was definitely nervous. I met with one of my clients and also big pacing buddy, somebody who's been a running buddy of mine, Danny. And we met and we did some warm-up running and we did some striders to get us ready for the run. We talked a little bit game plan. Very much a shout out to Danny. I harp on this motherfucker all the time, and we just shit talk each other all the time, but he seriously was like so paramount in terms of my actual training, really just being encouraging with what he thinks I'm capable of doing in this race. And he helped me pace the race so beautifully. I'll get into it, but I had a beautiful race. So I didn't just, hit my goal that I wanted, like kind of out the park, but I also had a really, really nice, pretty race split wise. So shout out to him. It was awesome. We get done with our warm up. We get to the start line. We started a little bit late, and I was definitely standing there for a few minutes, and I was kind of just like, man, I'm ready to freaking go. And we got out up front because the Palace 5K had one of the biggest, I think the biggest turnout it ever had. It was 2,400 people. So it was so many people, and I didn't want to be weaving and bobbing through people traffic, and so we got out in the front just so that we could not have to pass a bunch of people if need be when we started running. Took off, and the way Danny explained it, I mean, he absolutely perfectly broke down how the race should / was going to feel, which is first mile is adrenaline. You're going to feel, honestly, like you're going a little bit too slow. You're going to see a lot of people who are just ambitious and don't know how to pass you. And you're going to feel a little bit, you should feel almost not concerned, but like, oh, what is going, like, am I not pacing myself right on that first mile? Second mile, you should be uncomfortable, but still be like, oh, maybe I should have gone a little faster. Second mile, you're kicking it. You're passing people. This is where you start picking people off in the run, and you are starting to get a little bit more into the pain cave. And then that third mile is when stuff just starts getting really painful, and you just kind of power through. And the way Palace works is it's pretty much flat the entire time, except for the third mile, or the start of the third mile. You go up a hill. It's like a half-mile hill, and then you go down a half-mile to the finish. So it's tough mentally, but because you're approaching that third mile and you're already pretty tired, and you know you've got a big hill to hit, but then you go straight down, and that's when you play the mind game and you go to the pain cave and you have a good time there. And that's exactly what happened. The first mile, I think if I didn't have Danny next to me running and pacing, I had to trust him because I didn't look at my watch the whole time on purpose. I didn't want to freak out or get in my head about anything. And so I got done with the first mile, and I was thinking, oh my God, like, I feel my adrenaline was going so hard. So I was just like, I feel like I could have, like, what are we even running? You know, it almost felt like we were running sevens because I just felt good. Like, my adrenaline was going so hard. I felt so good. I was just like, I can't possibly be going fast. Second mile, he picked it up a little bit, and I just kept with him, and we started picking people off, and that's when I started feeling like I was just like, oh, okay, we're getting to a place where I'm feeling some type of way. I'm starting to definitely feel this run, and so I don't know what we're running. I definitely don't feel like I'm running 6:30s, but I feel like I'm pushing myself, and I don't know. I just had the best time. Like, I felt like I had really just great energy, steady energy throughout. My heart rate was good. My legs actually felt pretty good, which I was worried about because they were sore a couple days leading into. I think I definitely would have, if I changed my training week leading up to at all, I definitely would have done less. I would not have done a hard lift on Tuesday like I had done. That's one thing that I wouldn't have done. But anyways, I approached that last mile, and I got to the hill, and I just remember feeling really, really excited about it mentally, to be honest. I said to Danny, you know, like, let's have some fun. And I meant it. Like, we were about to go up the hill, and I was just like, I'm ready to fucking kill this shit. And I did. And we both killed it. Got up the hill, and then I just sent it down the hill. And it was a really, really fun race. I came in at 20:33, and I felt so good. I had a perfect negative split, even on a course where that last mile is a uphill and then a downhill. I hit a 6:36, a 6:33, and then a 6:27. And so I was extremely happy. And then that last point one was like a 5:30, you know, whatever. That's when you just ball. But I was extremely happy with how it went. I mean, the only thing that hindsight 2020 is just like, maybe I could have gone harder. I could have gone faster. I could have done better. But I don't know. I mean, just to have the race that I had and to had the running partner that I did, it really, really helped me out. So that was awesome. Afterwards, the way Palace goes is Palace is a bar, and sorry, you guys, I got to put on chapstick. I'm going crazy. Palace Saloon is a bar, so once you get there, you can get your post-run snacks if you want, and you can also get you a post-run beer. So it's a really, really cool vibe. I just was so happy with the race. A lot of my clients were out running it, and they absolutely killed it. So some people just with the goal of like, I just want to be able to run because they're coming off of an injury, and they did and had no pain. Some people hitting PRs. One of my clients got first female overall. Shout out Katie. She absolutely killed it. So I'm just so happy with how it went for everybody involved in the alchemical training team. And I'm proud of myself for being able to do it and hit the goal that I wanted to hit. So that was awesome. Next, I want to go into my next goals and then kind of some surprising benefits and drawbacks to training. My next goal is the mile. So I want to see what I can do in the mile. There's a mile at the track in early August, and we'll see. We'll see what I'm capable of doing. I don't know. I don't really have a goal set time-wise for it. I want to next couple weeks just have fun and get some mileage up a little bit, and then I know that once we enter this, it'll be a 10 to 12 week training block for the mile. It's just going to be really, really hard runs. Less weekly mileage, but harder. So yeah, I'm really excited for the mile being the goal. I will probably change my lifts from 4 times a week lifting to 3 times a week lifting just because the runs are going to get quite intense. And if they're not intense, I'm going to be accumulating more volume just because that's something that I really need. I do need to build some endurance, and that kind of goes into like the surprising benefits and drawbacks to endurance training. The drawbacks, I didn't realize how much stress and strain it really would put on the body. I thought ignorantly that it was really going to be more of a heart rate thing, and just like I knew that systemic fatigue would be an issue, but I didn't realize how much just on the lower body and the legs that it was going to demand of me, especially because I was doing a lot of quality sessions, because I couldn't actually get my weekly volume that high in this building phase, and I just needed to make sure that I got my quality sessions in. So my workouts that I did do were hard. Like, they were hard training for me anyways. They were tough. It was a speed day, I had a threshold day, and then I had a long run day, and those were just like, they were all tough. And so I didn't realize how much on the lower body it was really going to take from me. And I also didn't realize how much it was just going to demand of me physically, really. I thought it was going to be, again, more of a heart rate thing. I thought it was going to be some systemic fatigue. And those things are true, but actually my lungs and my cardio are pretty good. My legs are what we're still working on, especially on those long runs. And also just being able to handle the fatigue of training and being able to adapt and to that is something that I'm still working on. So that's one of the drawbacks. Also, one of the drawbacks is just the constant. You're gonna be like very inflamed in my body because it was accumulating a lot of fatigue and it wasn't quite recovering from the training sessions that I was putting myself through. I felt oftentimes like tired, very, very bloated, very inflamed. I'm always hungry. Or I'm not hungry at all, but I know that the days that I'm not hungry, I have a really hard training day. So I've got to eat some calories. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. I will also say, one of the drawbacks, it's extremely time consuming. Not just the runs are time consuming themselves, but also like after a long run day, after a really, really hard session, you're just dead. So it's very, very hard to be able to get my mind to a place where I can continue to be productive in the sense that I can also have like a really heavy work day. So it's time consuming in that regard because I have to kind of plan my weeks out so that when I have a little bit more of a chill day with running, that's when I get a lot of my actual computer work done, like that requires a lot of brain power. I have to make sure that I am structuring my training weeks so that I'm still showing up for my clients really well and energized. And it's very tough, like after a long run on Saturday or Sunday, depending on what day I do my long run. Oftentimes that's the days where I just plan to kind of hang out with family and be in community with, and relax and catch up, do some meditation or whatever, because I genuinely just do not have the brain power afterwards to be able to do a lot of, not necessarily, I'll do some continued education sometimes, but do anything in terms of moving forward in my business, especially in the online realm, which is what I'm trying to establish here soon. But that's been a drawback. And it's getting to a place where I know that I need to be able to dedicate time to my business. That's the most important thing to me. So that's also why I'm training for the mile, because I think that it will be hard sessions, but those sessions will be a little bit shorter. And I think the recoverability, although they'll sap me a little bit, they don't quite sap me like a long run saps me. And I'll still have a long run, but it just won't necessarily be always it won't be like a super, super huge priority. And the distance of the long run might shift and change during the week. Anyways, so those are kind of the things. I would say also too, if you're somebody who's not a routine person and you also like to have your fun weekends, this is not for you. Like, I'm a routine person, and I also like a fun weekend to me is, spending time outside and working out and being with my friends. And so I get to do that with endurance training. So that helps a lot, and it's not a problem for me. But if you are somebody that, like you want to go out on a Friday night, I mean, it's like, long run Saturday, long run Sunday. It's very one of those days, it's just like you can't really be drinking a lot. You have to be careful in terms of how late you're staying out. You have to be careful in terms of travel, like making sure that you have a route that you can run over the weekend. And because truly, like, you have to be consistent, and skipping sessions here and there is fine. But in the long run, like, you have to make sure that overall you're hitting all the sessions you need to. So that's a toughie. You have to have a lot of discipline, and you have to be able to have a routine and really stick to the routine. And then another drawback, the long run high and the running high is very temporary. I found actually that the level of stress that I have naturally people have higher cortisol in the morning. And then on top of that, doing a really hard training session in the morning, I find that my cortisol has been a little bit more dysregulated. And so I find myself being more stressed during the day, having a little bit of a harder time sometimes at night winding down. And so it's been tough in that regard in terms of recoverability. Like, inflammation and cortisol has been rough. So the long run high is a temporary high. The first couple long runs I had, it feels awesome. And you have the occasional like awesome feeling post race. Like today, I have definitely had just a high post race because it was just a great time and I hit my goal and I got to see all my people. But that is not most runs. Most runs I finish and I'm just like, oh, fuck. So that's a drawback for sure. But there are also a lot of benefits, which is why I'm setting another goal. And the benefits are when I master my nightly routine and I've really been able to get to a place where I can recover well, I sleep hard as fuck. I sleep like the dead. I go to bed and I do have stress dreams all the time because I'm just a neurotic individual, but like, I don't wake up from those stress dreams. Like, I just stress dream right through the night and I sleep all the way through the night and then I wake up. It's drawn me back into meditation, which has been really cool. Meditation has been something that was a regular practice for me, and then I stopped, and it's really, really helped me go back to. I find that on my runs, if I'm running without any headphones, which I do more often than not actually now, it's about 50-50. When I'm running without headphones, it is truly like a meditative experience, and it's really, really nice to just be outside and connect with my breath and the sound of my feet or the people that I'm running with. And it's very cool. It forces you to be pretty present and use it as a practice to continue to try and be in the present, which is awesome. But also, I have just been meditating more. I've been using the Waking Up app. It's my favorite app to use, and it's been cool to get back into meditation, sitting down, having a moment to just regroup. And I treat it almost like a midday, kind of how people would treat like a midday nap. I treat it like a midday or end of day, just like non-deep sleep rest is really how I would consider it. But it's just meditation. It's not actually an NDSR protocol. And it's helped me a lot with being present, because with the inflammation and the cortisol being a little bit more dysregulated and me sometimes waking up a little bit more anxious, tired, whatever, the meditation has just helped continue to have me practice going back to the present moment. And I think part of it is endurance training has helped facilitate that. One, because it needs to, and also two, because when I'm present on those runs, it just feels so good and amazing. And I want to continue to practice that throughout the day. So I've gotten back into meditation because of endurance training, and that's been amazing. I've also been journaling more, which has been really nice. And I spend more time outside, which is never a bad thing. I absolutely love being outside. I'm an outside girly, and I love Florida. I love Florida even in the summer and the heat. It's going to be rough with these runs, but more time outside is never a bad thing for me. I really enjoy it, and I appreciate it, and so that's been awesome. And then the biggest thing, honestly, in terms of benefits is the community. I have been in a little bit the endurance community because I've been training athletes that are in endurance training. And so I've gotten to, be a little bit more on the outskirts, but inside and working with endurance athletes. But being actually I'm a regular runner in the community. It's been very cool because I spend a lot of time training by myself, and I do actually enjoy training by myself, especially lifting by myself. But when I am out there running, it is so cool and inspiring and motivating and uplifting to, have a 6:30 a.m. session and be at the track and be chasing people and be at the track with other people who are also suffering alongside of you and who are pushing you. Like they push me to be better. They inspire me. They're out there putting in the work, and they make me want to go out and put in the work. And when you're suffering as a group, it's just not quite as bad. And they truly push me to be better. Like, I'm just constantly seeing my clients and my friends who are out there running, and I think, if they're out there doing it, I can do it. And they're giving their best effort. I can give my best effort, and I don't take that. I've taken it for granted in the past, and now I don't take it for granted. It's a really, really incredible thing to have people who are and they're so uplifting and encouraging. And going into this race, they've been so uplifting and encouraging to me about, being able to hit a sub 21. And so, yeah, the community, going on a long run and being able to just, chat and hang out with a group of people on a run for 10 miles, being out on the track, dying. Danny has been a huge training partner with me for a lot of the threshold runs, which are just like my kryptonite. Threshold runs are just brutal for me. And so having him out there who pushing me and talking shit, but also out there suffering with me, it's just been so important in my training. I would not have gotten as much quality out of my training had people not been out there with me. And a lot of times I think I would have probably skipped sessions and not shown up for sessions, or definitely not shown up in the way that I should have for sessions. So the community has been absolutely the number one best part about endurance training. And I can see how people get addicted to just that. So those have been the benefits. I'm really grateful for the entire experience, and I'm really excited to see how this next goal goes for me. I don't have a mile goal. I said sub 6 minute, and Danny laughed in my face, and he was like, that's just like the stupidest easy goal. So no. So we'll see. I'll probably set something a little bit more scary and tough for my August 9th mile goal. But that's my race recap. Next week, the way it's going to look is I'm just going to get a couple of quality sessions in and then call it. A lot of my homies won't be at the track on Tuesday, but I think I'll still be at the track on Tuesday to do some speed work. So I'll do speed work Tuesday, and then I'll hit a long run. And then other than that, I'm just going to get a couple of lifts in, and I'm going to actually probably go back to jiu-jitsu and see my people at jiu-jitsu because I do miss them. But yeah, that'll be it. It won't be anything crazy. I won't be doing any threshold work. I probably won't get any easy miles in. I'm just going to take this next week and kind of lay low and chill. And then go into my next training block. I already have my lifts planned for my next training block. And I'll see whenever the crew wants to start the mile training. But until then, I'm just going to build up some mileage and get myself to a place where I can tolerate over 30 miles weekly of volume, and then we're gonna see where it goes. So I'm really excited. I'm super newbie to all of this. It's made me a better coach being able to do this kind of stuff. It's made me better at coaching endurance athletes and figuring out what they need for their training. And I hope it continues to make me a better coach and a better athlete overall. But thanks for listening, you guys. That was my race recap. Palace 5K. Good fucking time. See y'all next week.